Just how many comic book stores can one man frequent in the span of a single free comic book day? I think we're about to find out. Greetings, people of the internet. I'm Scott with Serkworks Art Labs. Welcome, mad creators, to the underground laboratory where we create robots, aliens, zombies, and other imminent threats to humanity. We also write and draw comics. At least I do. I'm guessing a lot of you people watching might do that as well. But if you write or draw comics, you probably collect comics. And what's the best way to collect comics, or the best time, the best place to get your hands on some comics, maybe even some free comics? Well, that would be Free Comic Book Day. And Free Comic Book Day just happened this past weekend. And even though I'm kind of sequestered here in the underground lair, I don't really get out much, I do have a way to sort of do that vicariously through an alternate reality version of myself. So how do we tap into this alternate reality version? Well, we use this device up here, the paralleloscope, which allows us to view alternate realities, parallel universes, and kind of tap into something else that's going on where I'm not down here in the lab working away, creating all kinds of crazy science and mad, I don't know, art, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, so we're going to go up here to the paralleloscope and kind of find out what the alternate reality version of me has been up to as far as the Free Comic Book Day celebration. So let's check it out. Hey everyone, it's Free Comic Book Day, and what do you do on Free Comic Book Day? You go out and you support your local comic book stores. So I live in Phoenix, Arizona, and it's a fairly big city. I think maybe like 5th biggest city in America. I think I heard that somewhere. I don't know if that's still the case or what, but yeah, so pretty big city. So we got a lot of comic book stores. So that leads me to the question, which comic book store do I support? How about all of them? I don't know if I'll be able to hit all of them, but I'm going to try to hit as many comic book stores as I can, get some free comic books, buy some stuff, support all the local comic book stores that I can get to. So I think first on my list, I'm going to go to Samurai Comics in Phoenix. They have 3 different locations. I may be able to hit 1 or 2 of them. Their other location, they have a location in the East Valley, which is kind of far from me. I actually have to go there. I have to go to the East Valley later on tonight, but I think they're going to be closed. But they have like a comics mini expo going on, so I'd like to get over there, but I don't think I will be able to. But there's a lot of other cool stuff going on at the different comic book stores. So like I said, Samurai Comics, 3 locations. I'm going to try to hit at least 2 of them if possible. I might, depending on if I'm in the area or whatever, I might try to stop at the other one. They may still be open. They may not just have free comics. I don't know. But anyway, so first is the Phoenix location of Samurai Comics. So yeah, let's go. First up, Samurai Comics. So the parking lot was just insane. There's like a dead end. This guy's backing up, and I'm like backing up, and he keeps coming. He would not stop. I'm laying on the horn, and so finally I just parked across the street. And then as I'm walking up here, you can see that there's a parking spot right here, right up next to the front door. So just my luck. But so as I was walking in, there were these other guys. I was walking across the street in the crosswalk, and the guy looked at my shirt. It was my Kevin Cross shirt that says "Mini comics are way cooler." No, indie comics are way cooler. And he's like, "Where's Indie Comics?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's not really a place. It's kind of like a statement." And he was kind of asking, he's got all the Marvel and DC stuff on. He's asking what Indie Comics was like, and he had no clue what Indie Comics were. And he says, "You mean like My Little Pony?" And I'm like, "Well, maybe, kind of. That's kind of owned by a big corporation, but it's kind of the stuff you do on your own." But it's kind of sad that people don't really have some people don't have any clue what indie comics are. So I guess there's still a lot of education to be had as far as mini comics. I parked in the Arizona Art Supply parking lot, so I figured I'd duck in there and get some art supplies while I was there. Okay, 1 shop down. So I got my Samurai Comics free comics and some stuff that I purchased. Also, Arizona Art Supply was just right across the street where I parked. So I picked up some new markers. So there will be an ad marker review coming soon. These are like my favorite markers. I didn't even know they sold them there, but so awesome, that's a score. But I'm a little behind schedule, so hopefully I still have time to hit all these comic book stores because I've got some other stuff I got to take care of later. But next up is All About Books and Comics, and I don't think it's too far from here, so I'm gonna head out. All About Books and Comics have been around for a long time, but they recently relocated to this strip mall where they've kind of got there's bookends on either side of the strip mall. They've got one side that sells like the back issues, but then the main store is where this huge line is. So while I'm waiting in line, they had passed out waters, and we got to spin a wheel and do all that fun stuff. So yeah, I think I won some money off of a t-shirt or something, which I didn't get a t-shirt, but just kind of waiting to get in now. But it's a really cool store. It's not a huge store, but it is one of the nicest stores, really. Just like you'll see when I kind of start panning around, you'll see their display cases, but it's like wall-to-wall comics and memorabilia and stuff. I mean, there's even stuff hanging from the ceiling, but it's a really nicely laid out store. Really, you know, as far as like one of the best looking comic book stores I think I've been in. But yeah, it's just a really cool store. So yeah, I was kind of bummed when I heard that they had to move their location, and I didn't know what was going to be kind of their fate. Kind of like Meltdown over in California. I wanted to go there, and then I guess they shut down. I don't know if they're going to reopen, but luckily they found this. I think they did a Kickstarter and help them raise the money to move and everything, and they're in this really cool location right now. And there's this arcade across the street that I go to sometimes when we play trivia, but it's like a geek themed arcade bar. This place, Bonus Round, which oddly enough, I don't know why they didn't open early. You know, on Free Comic Book Day, you think they would open a little bit early. Those are their hours, but why not open a little early and get some of that comic book crowd? Because I was a little bummed that they weren't open. Okay, so this might be shaping up to be an impossible task because that took a long time. So All About Books and Comics, awesome store, but it's a smaller store. So I mean, the line wrapped around, and I thought once I kind of got in the store, I could kind of go and get what I needed, but it was still a line, so it took a long time. So I've still got a bunch of stuff to do before I've got other things to do. So hopefully I'll get a few more comic book stores in. Right now I am heading to Jesse James Comic, which is it's a pretty big store. I think it's probably the largest comic book store in Arizona that I know of, anyway. So hopefully it won't be as difficult to get in. And so they don't usually carry like the officially like branded Free Comic Book Day comics, but they do have other comics that they have for free. And they also, I know last year they had everything was like 50% off, so I'm hoping I can score a lot of cool stuff. So, and again, so this is what I got from All About Books and Comics. I will, you know, I'll kind of go through everything that I got at the end. So next stop. Next up is Jesse James Comics. So this is the comic book store I probably go to the most. They have like on Thursday nights, they have like a drawing night, which I haven't been to in a little while, but it's a huge store. It's almost the exact opposite of the last one, All About Books and Comics. It's kind of cobbled together, you know, he looks like he got displays from just wherever, and it just it's kind of haphazard, but it's this huge store, great community there. I love going there and hanging out and drawing when I can. I don't get out there as much, but yeah, and they always have the most awesome deals, like 50% off everything sometimes. But yeah, it's a great store, and Jesse's real cool dude. All right, that was a lot quicker, although I did spend a little time in the store because there's just so much to see. So yeah, just got out of Jesse James, got a whole bunch of stuff, got some alternate comics, which is cool. The other places didn't really have many. I got that Amazing Age #0, which is kind of their Free Comic Book Day thing. A bunch of other stuff in here that I will go through. So yeah, so what's next? Next is Drawn to Comics, which is it's a shop I don't go to a lot because it's not really close to me, but it's like my brother's favorite shop. It's the one he gets all his comics at. So that's also a smaller store, so I don't know how hard it's going to be to get in there. The good thing is that they're across from there. They've got a library where they're doing like a big mini comic, big, that's sort of an oxymoron, a mini comic thing. I don't know how big or whatever it is, but so if I can't get into the shop, if it's going to take too long, I might just go to the library and check that out. But yeah, I'm curious to see what it's going to be like over there. So that's the next stop. Drawn to Comics is a store I don't get to go to that often. I don't really find myself out in the downtown Glendale area, but it is a really cool shop. It's my brother's favorite shop, and they've got this really cool life-size Silver Surfer up in the window. But yeah, I'll have to try to get out here more, because I think I talked to the owners once. They came up to me at Phoenix Comic Con, and they were really cool. So, but yeah, it is a really awesome shop, and it's right kind of in that heart of like downtown Glendale, Arizona. And it's a little bigger than I thought. I remember it being small, but it kind of goes way back, and just they've got, you know, tons of cool stuff as usual, as most comic book stores do. But I think they have a lot of like you know, community events and things like that as well. I think most comic book stores do, but I don't know, up in the, and there's a second, looks like a little second story where they had a band playing and everything. And so this guy dressed up as Loki, man, he looks almost exactly like Loki. I was surprised. I think there's a better picture of him coming up. But yeah, so I got in there, picked up a bunch of comics. I think their free comics are in a different area. There you can see the Loki guy again. There he is. And the store looks really good too. So I didn't get any free comics here, but I'm going to try to head over across the street. And there's the band playing up there. That was kind of cool. But yeah, they just had a really kind of a cool party vibe at this comic book store. And it wasn't as crowded as I thought because, again, all the free comics are in the library across the street in the park. So yeah, I don't know. I'm going to see if I have enough time to check that out over there, because there's a mini comic, not many comics, but a smaller comic book convention over there. And I think I have some friends there, and I want to see if I can talk to them and everything. But so here it is, and it looks like the line is pretty long. So just because I'm behind schedule, I think I'm gonna probably have to skip this. As much as I wanted to see some of the people over there, I don't think there's a separate line to get in just to talk to people. I think the free comic, the one you wait for the free comics, is the same line just to get in, which you know, probably should do that a little differently. That's kind of a bummer. All right, so I went to Drawn to Comics, awesome store. They had 25% off all comics, so that's cool. So I got more comics. I did walk over to where the library is, for where that little mini comic convention is. I think that's where they had the free comics. But it was a pretty long line, and I'm kind of bummed in a way, because I think I know some other artists in there that are selling stuff that I wanted to talk to, but I'm running low on time, so I didn't want to wait in the line. Plus I got tons of like free comics already. So I was gonna head out to another Samurai Comics, but I'm running out of time, so I might have to skip that one. Plus I already went to a Samurai Comics. But the next comic store I'm going to go to is a new one that opened not too long ago. I don't even think they've been open. I don't even think they've been open a year. But it's right by my house. I've never been there. I've been meaning to go. So it's called Serkworks Comics. So I don't know really what's in store. We'll see. I'll have to go check it out. And yeah, hopefully it's cool, because like I said, it's right by my house. So if it's a cool place and everything, then it might be the new place I go when I need to get comics. So all right, that's where I'm going now, and I think that might be the last stop, because I am running out of time. This is taking long. I should have anticipated it was going to take a long time, but I think the All About Books and Comics set me back quite a bit. That was a pretty long line, and it looked like the one for the convention thing here was just about as long. So, but that's cool. That's cool. I'm still getting tons of comics. I got tons of free comics, bought tons of cool comics. So next stop, Serkworks Comics. All right, so I lied. I decided to go to the other Samurai Comics anyway, because it was kind of on the way. So hopefully it won't take too long. I just want to duck in there real quick and see what they've got going on. This is the second Samurai Comics location that I've been to today. It's the second out of 3. I don't think I'll get to the third one. I think the third one's pretty big, but this one's a little smaller store, but it's a little closer to my house. So until the Serkworks Comics opened up, this was kind of where I would go to, unless I happen to be in another area, you know, out and about or whatever. But yeah, this is a nice little store, not quite as big as the bigger store that we went to before. Decision, because it didn't take long, and I got some cool stuff, some more free comics, and I got some cool stuff to preview. I got the new I guess they stopped Mad Magazine and started it back up, so I don't know if it's going to be the same as like the old stuff I used to like, but I figured what the heck, it's the new issue #1 of Mad Magazine, so I got that, and I got some other stuff. So now we are going to head over to that new comic book store, Serkworks Comics, like just a few miles from my house, so that'll be sort of the end thing, and then after that I'm going home. So it's been pretty well. I don't want to wrap up yet, because the day's not over. I got to see what's going on at the Serkworks Comics, so that's where I'm going now. Apparently this is my new hometown comic book store, and they've been open for a little less than a year, but I have not been in, so I can't say why I haven't, but finally, I guess Free Comic Book Day is as good a day as any to go in, and it's cool because they had some artist signings there. Vincent DePorter, who is an artist for SpongeBob, was there, and I had missed another guy who was there as well. I'll talk about that in a minute because it's kind of an interesting story. But I got a chance to talk to Vincent for a little while, which is cool, and pick up some awesome comics, talk to the owners. Yeah, it's a really cool store. What a way to cap off the day. So that was a great trip. I'm glad I stopped there on my way back, which I needed to, because like I said, this shop, Surprise Comics, is in the city I live in, Surprise, Arizona. And it's a brand new shop. They've been open, I think, since October, they said. Met the owners, husband and wife, I believe. Really nice and everything. There's another artist who lives sort of in this city, Vincent DePorter, who does SpongeBob comics. He's awesome. I talked to him a few times at other things. Our kids used to go to the same school, and my daughter, before we just remodeled her room, she's had this drawing that he did up in there of SpongeBob as a ballerina for like ever. So I got to find out where she put that anyway. But anyway, so I got the chance to talk to Vincent. Really cool guy. He's doing some cool stuff. So I'm gonna hit him up on social media. And I guess I just missed another artist who is also in this city, which is weird because he is doing work for Alterna, which, you know, I'm a huge Alterna fan. So I might just try to. They gave me his info. I'm gonna contact him and just say, hey, I missed you. We're in the same city, and it might be cool just to introduce ourselves and stuff. So anyway, so that was really cool, and I got some cool stuff. I forgot what I got. I'm gonna look through. Like, I think I got ROM and some other stuff, but yeah. So I'll let you guys know all the comics, and I mean, I got tons. I have no idea how much money I spent today, but I got a lot of free stuff too, so that's cool. But yeah, it's very successful, even though I didn't get way out to the East Valley, and I didn't really get to go to like the mini Comic Cons. I did a lot, so I'm pretty, I should give myself a pat on the back there. So yeah, that was super fun. Sometimes I wish, well, I was gonna say I wish Free Comic Book Day could be every day, but that might not be a good idea, because I don't know if I could do this much running around. All right, that was really cool. So I always like checking in with the alternate realities, but you know, I'd like to get my hands on some comics too. Oh, there we go. That means we have mail. Now that's what I've been waiting for, because I wanted to let you know we've made some changes to one of our devices here, the Vaculux, this mail delivery system that we have. Now we've kind of, the Serkworks Hinch minions have kind of been working overtime, and we've kind of adapted this device and gave it kind of a cool new feature where not only can we get mail from this reality, but we can do like interdimensional mail from other realities. So the Scott in that reality has just sent me some comic books that he picked up. I'm gonna check them out, and we'll see what they are. So let's go to the Vaculux here. All right, cool. So as you can tell, this is a pretty small box, but the cool thing is we have another technology and where we can actually reduce the size of this. It's pretty much, it's kind of like food dehydration, but we can use other physical objects, and we can shrink things down to size so we can send them through the Vaculux. But now we got to bring this back to size so we can check out what it is. So let's add a little water to this, bring it back to size, and we'll check out some comics. Okay, so here's the package. Now it is regular size. Let's check this out. So again, these are the comic books that you just saw, the alternate reality version of myself picking up. He or me, I don't know how that all works. How do I refer to that? Anyway, I have sent myself a package of the comic books so I can show you kind of what I got. So we're gonna go in order of the comic book stores that I went to. So let's start off with the first, Samurai Comics. So what did I get? So I bought some comics. And, oh wait, we got two different things here. Okay, we'll start with this one here. Got some free comics. So what, okay, so this is one of the free comics. This is the World Saga, and who's the artist on this? Daniel Lesky. So I remember him from a few, I've seen him do some things with Jason Brubaker on his channel, and this comic, I've always really dug the artwork and just this comic book, so, but I've never read it, so it's kind of cool that I get to preview that. So there's that, that's the first one. I'm a big fan of Avatar: The Last Airbender and Legend of Korra, So there was a Legend of Korra. It doesn't look like it's illustrated by Guru, which does most of the trades, which that's like one of my favorite artists, but it still looks pretty awesome. Anxious to check that out. This is another one. Oh, this is kind of unusual. I just noticed this. So this one, it looks like a pretty cool independent comic book, maybe all ages, I'm not sure. It's called The Only Living Boy, but I noticed that it's kind of a different size. And you can see it's a lot bigger than the standard comic, so I don't know if I have any bags that will fit that. We'll see. But very interesting, very interesting. I don't know if that was made so that will peek out over the other comics, so you kind of see that. I don't know. Interesting. Okay, so what else did I get? So these are the ones I paid for. Again, like I said, Guru is, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but anyway, one of my favorite artists does the Avatar books, also does this Gwenpool, so I picked up one of these. I kind of just skip around, because sometimes there's other artists on this title, and I only just kind of pick up the one with the Guru art, so got that. Let's see, so this one here, so Image does this thing for like $1 comics where they kind of introduce you to some of their comic books, just for $1. It's just introductory price. This one I noticed. So Rick Remender, I guess I never read any of his books, but I know he's a friend of Kevin Cross. So I figured, I should give it a chance and actually see what this guy's all about. So, and I know most people probably know who that is in there because I think he's kind of a big deal. I'm kind of out of touch with a lot of modern comics. But anyway, so I'm going to check that out. That's kind of cool. Now this one just struck my eye because it's just amazingly beautiful. So on the last Artcasters we were talking about, Josh and I were talking about all these comics with the glossy covers and everything, and how we're not really partial to glossy, not necessarily covers are alright, but I think the interiors, and you don't see a lot of flat matte covers or interiors nowadays. But it really looks so much nicer, and I'm going to show you this, but I don't know how well it's going to come out on the screen. But so this is a Tank Girl. It looks like it's a one-shot, but this is some of the most beautiful art I have ever seen in so long. And the artist looks really familiar, but I'm not sure what I know the artist from. But now here, let me show you this. So there's a pinup of the cover in here. Beautiful artwork, and it's all matte. It all looks like it's just from the graphic design and everything. It's beautiful. I mean, this is, if you can't go newsprint, I mean, this isn't newsprint, but it's kind of like a heavier stock that looks sort of like that newsprint look. And this is, oh man, this is, if you're gonna go premium paper, this is the way to go. I mean, this is just amazing. I wish you could kind of see it. It's hard to tell on the screen, but I can't wait to delve into this book because it really looks beautiful, from the artwork to the graphic design, just to the paper stock. This is a very well thought out book, and I wish more comics would go down that route. Okay, so what do we got next? So next on our stop was All About Books and Comics. This is the one that was kind of a smaller but very cool store. Well, I mean, I don't think it's any smaller than a lot of comic book stores, but it's just packed wall to wall with all kinds of cool stuff. I just love that store. So here, we'll start off with the free comics I got. So let's see what I got. Okay, yeah. So these are all free. So I got this one. This is Scotty Young from the I Hate Fairyland, but it's I Hate Image, so it looks like she's kind of taking care of the Image characters, which I don't know if you guys remember one of the first Dark Horse titles. It was called Boris the Bear, where they had this little stuffed bear that went around and killed all these other, superheroes and things like that. I'm wondering if that's kind of going to be like that. I don't know, but I got that. These aren't like the official comic books, free comic book day comics, but they put some other comic books that you can pick from. They just put a little blue or yellow dot. So I got the first issue of Lando Calrissian, or I guess it's just called Lando. Haven't checked that out. Want to check that out. A very cool character, one of my favorites. This is Mike Allred, so I like his artwork. So this looks like a fantastic, well, it looks like Fantastic Four, but it's got a different lineup. So I'm curious to see what that's all about. But yeah, I really do dig his artwork. And so this is a book I've been wanting to get for a while. This is the one I paid for, because anytime I went into a comic book store, I didn't just get the free comics, I also bought stuff, because you want to support local, comic book shops. So this Tag and Bink were here. Now this was a book that was a Dark Horse book, and because it was Dark Horse, the Star Wars, it went out of print. But I heard fun things about it. It's about these two stormtroopers that kind of weave themselves throughout the tapestry of the Star Wars universe, and a lot of the bad things that happen. It's almost like a Forrest Gump type scenario, where it's just interwoven into all the things are pretty much these two guys' faults. But what's cool is, I guess Marvel is starting to reprint the Dark Horse. I don't know how they kind of work that. I don't know how that works, because even in the beginning it says it was a period of strife and turmoil at Dark Horse Comics in a Marvel book. Odd, but I'm glad this is back in print, so I got that. All right, so now on to Jesse James comics. Let's see what we got here. These are the free comics I got. All right, so I'm not sure why I picked up some of these titles. This says DC Nation, I don't know. It got the Joker on it, so I figured that might be kind of cool. Then I got this. This is a friend of mine, Denny Rosselli. He does a book called Space Monsters, local artist. And again, he's kind of doing the whole newsprint thing, doing black and white newsprint like a newspaper. So I bought his book. I've got tons of his stuff. Here's an alternate title. This is Amazing Age number 0. So I'm going to check that out. Again, that's that newsprint thing. Alterna's doing all newsprint. So this looks like, I'm not familiar with who this is. I don't know if this is a local artist or whatever, but it's like a little ash can, but it looks like a cool indie book. So I'm always up for indie books, so I picked that up. And what is this one? I don't know, it's got Jesse James Comics branded on top of it, so I don't know if it must be an exclusive to them, so I just picked that up, kind of cool. So that's the free stuff I got from Jesse James. Let's see the stuff that I purchased. All right, so this is a book that a lot of people are familiar with. I haven't read it yet. Invincible, I bought the trade because I've heard great things about it, so I'm anxious to start reading that. Again, they had tons of alternate titles. So let's see what I got. I got The Chair number 4, Go West number 2, Chair number 3, and The Chair is Peter Simeti, who is the publisher of Alternate Comics. Amazing Age number 4, number 5, Mr. Crypt number 3. I just picked up everything they have. Trespasser number 3. I need to get 2. A lot of these, I'm just gonna go to their website or go to their Etsy page and buy number 2, even though I have some number 2s in here. They have a package where you can buy, I think, all the number 2s, so I'm gonna do that. But even if I get 2 of them, I mean, at $1.50, I mean, I could hand those out to other people and introduce them to alternate comics. So what's next? I'm trying to remember what order we were in as far as the number of stores. This is Drawn to Comics. So I didn't get any free comic books at Drawn to Comics because they had it in a separate area and the line was way too long. But I did purchase some stuff, more alternate titles. I've got Doppelganger 2 and 3, and again, I'll probably get another version of 2, but I picked it up anyway. So I got those. Sonitis, I believe it's called, number 2. Again, I might get another one. And so this is a book, if you know kind of the comic books that I do, I love kind of that 80s throwback kid adventures. And this one's a little different because it's for mature readers, but it is still kids and doing crazy things as far as what they're up against, whether it's, in my book, it's zombies, or, it could be pirates and Goonies, or, gangsters, I guess, actually, or monsters and Monster Squad, that type of thing. But anyway, so I think this one has a little to do with aliens. I started reading this book, I started collecting the single issues, and then I missed one, and I could not find that single issue, so I've been looking for the trade, and I keep finding the 3rd and 4th trades, but not the 1st, so I bought the trade of this, and I'm looking to catch up with that, and then I can kind of catch up with some of the other trades on that. Alright, on to the other Samurai Comics, the second Samurai Comics location I went to. Let's see what we got here. So, okay, yeah, so here, a Star Wars adventure. Again, these are sort of all ages, but the artwork is super fun. I do love Star Wars, especially the bounty hunters and everything, Han Solo. So that's cool. That was one of the free comics. I don't know what this one is. It says That guy looks kind of like Stan Lee. I'm not sure if that's who it is, but Adventure Man. So Golden Apple Books, which I believe Golden Apple is another comic book store in I think they're in California. But anyway, so I'm anxious to check that out. Oh, another Tank Girl, Free Comic Book Day Tank Girl version. And so this is the ones that I bought from the second location at Samurai Comics. Again, I mentioned this is Mad Magazine #1, and I don't know what's different about it other than when I was collecting it was all black and white. Now it's color, which I guess you kind of have to upgrade, but it still looks pretty fun. Anxious to check that out. I don't know what the Mad Magazine that they canceled and rebooted. I mean, I guess they just do that all the time. I guess if DC does it, and DC is owned by, DC's owned by Warner Brothers, so why not do it with Mad Magazine, which is also owned by Warner Brothers? So I guess if it works for comics, it works for Mad Magazine. All right, so here's another book, Oblivion Song. This is Robert Kirkman's new book. I heard him on an interview talking about this, and it sounded really cool, so anxious to read that. All right, we got one more story. Yeah, so this is the store that's over by my house, Surprise Comics. This is what I got. So these are my free ones. This is called Starburns Presents. And so this is Dan Harmon, who I guess created, I think, Community and Rick and Morty. I'm not correct because I haven't seen Rick and Morty, even though I want to because it's got a mad scientist, and I just don't have access to whatever platform that's on. I don't know if it's Hulu or what, or I don't have it, whatever it is, but I will eventually check it out because I've heard so many good things. But anyway, and also Patton Oswalt. So my brother was talking about this book, so I picked that one up. Cool. So Terry Moore, Strangers in Paradise. It says #1, so I don't know if this is like a reboot or something, or if this is a reprint of the original. Not sure. I don't see. Oh, there's a number here too, so I don't know what all that means. Anyway, all right. So I'm a big fan of Rom. They rebooted Rom. He doesn't have the mittens anymore. He's got actual fingers. But so this is a one-shot. So I always dig one-shots because you can read them one and dones. Those are always good. IDW is now publishing that. Oh, you know what? I think I missed some stuff. I might have to go back because I think I definitely missed some stuff. Okay, so I also got Oblivion Song #2. And so this is the SpongeBob comics autographed by Vincent DePorter, who I told you is a local to Surprise where I live. And well, the alternate reality version of me lives. I'm in a secret location in an underground lair. but anyway, so I got that autographed by Vincent. But yeah, because I know I missed something somewhere. I gotta find where these are because what the heck? I know I bought a lot of them. There was. Oh yeah, here. What? How did I missed some stuff here. Okay, here we go. Okay, I don't know how I missed these. So this was Jesse James Comics. I was talking about IDW and ROM. They also rebooted Mask, which I love this as, this is just an awesome toy line. I was getting a little old for it, but my brother collected, so I collected them, so I kind of went in and played with all his Mask toys. But anyway, so Mask, very cool property. Glad they brought that back. And Micronauts, which I love Micronauts. And then here's another one, G.I. Joe. So they're rebooting all these old Hasbro stuff, which is cool. And then here's another one that I forgot to show you. Again, another really cool graphic design. This is Bitch Planet, and it is another one of those one-shots from Image. Very cool. Oh, look at the back here. I love that. I love that. So yeah, anyway, you can see I got tons of comics, and I can't wait just to start reading all these great comics. I don't get to go out to comic book stores that much, so whether it's me or the alternate reality version of me, it's just nice to kind of get your hands on a bunch of comics and just, it makes me feel like a kid again because I'm always creating comics, but I haven't read a lot of comics lately, but now I've got enough to keep me busy for a long while. So anyway, so that's kind of the Free Comic Book Day wrap up. I want to know your free comic book stories. What do you usually do when you go out to Free Comic Book Day? Do you just got one favorite store that you hit and just hang out there? Do you have a bunch that you try to get to, try to do a marathon kind of like I did? Anyway, let me know in the comments section and I will see you guys later. That is all. Hey everyone, thanks for joining me here in the Art Lab. There's a lot of other great content on the channel, so click that subscribe button and you won't miss a thing. If you're an aspiring evil genius, visit Serkworks.com for all your mad science supply needs. And if you want to contact me, hit me up in the comments section or follow me on social media. I'm looking forward to it. I'll see you then.